At Midway USA, we put customers first. The Nitro Express shipping system is icing on the cake. It was a big investment of time and money to take super fast, low-cost shipping to a whole new level. The Nitro Express helps ensure same-day shipping and low shipping cost. We hope you enjoy the Nitro Express. We built it just for you. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com. I'm Larry Potterfield with Midway USA. Thanks for your business.
Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
Sitting up there jacked with Pepsi.
I'm there for the pack out. You just got to pack me in.
Committed to the bow early on. Like, I love getting close and putting a...
You cover a range of stuff on here too, right? Like,
we call this the THP World Headquarters.
You know, my grandpa Roy Weatherby.
I came into like that golden little pocket where there was like 4 or 5 different bowls. Just
You're Canadian? We're doing a Canadian podcast.
My name's Douglas Stone.
I'm Robbie Denning.
Roy Candy.
How you doing, Jay?
very good, man. Huge fucking day. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Big day, eh? Yeah, I love those days. Not a huge, overly successful day for me. Pete went back to work today, finally.
Yeah, sick for a few days, so.
Oh, no.
He was the color of that paint wall. Is that the color of paint you picked?
Yeah, it'll look good with the floor. Yeah, you wait and see. It'll look good. I was a little hesitant at first, but the rest of it's got to tie in together. Paint can always get changed.
Okay.
You'll see.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, you will. I'm not too bad at this stuff. I'm not good at other stuff, but I'm not too bad at this stuff.
Huh. How was your week?
That's not going to be what my backdrop is, though.
No?
No, that's just another part of the wall, another part of the basement.
What do you got? I see a tip of an antler there behind you.
Oh, maybe maybe this one here. It's my whitetail.
Is that from this year?
Yeah, that's just about ready. Bleach it this weekend.
Oh, that's a cool little double brow tine.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of it. You don't see that around here too often.
No, that's rad. I like that.
So, yeah, well, it was pretty wild.
So it only took, what was it, 4 shots to get that sucker down?
Oh, fuck yeah. 4 shots. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. Hit him 3 times. I thought my gun was out because I've been bow hunting pretty much, like 99% of the season. And I'm really confident with my rifle. And yeah, couldn't understand why that damn thing was still walking. And yeah, I had 3 bullet holes in it right where I wanted to shoot.
What were you shooting him with?
My 243.
Okay.
And the thing's a tack driver. And I've never had an
shot placement. Shot placement.
I guess. But 3 through the lungs? I don't know. It is what it is.
You must have hit him maybe just on like the border, like outskirts of the lungs. Maybe.
I don't know. When I remember one of the 2 lungs was absolutely decimated. Like when I gutted him out, so that one got hit twice for sure.
Buck. I'm just breaking you down there.
Oh, I got to take it. It should be 1 shot and dropped.
Yeah,
is what it is.
So you were sick all week. Now you're on the mend.
Now I'm on the mend, and yeah, work on the reno this weekend and get ready for Christmas here.
Christmas, yeah. Are you all ready for Christmas? So what goes on in your house now that there's no kids there? Do you guys still like exchange gifts? Like Santa Claus still show up at your house, or is it just like you running around in like a little Santa hat and nothing else?
Pretty much. That's Evie too. Yeah, just Santa hat, Mrs. Claus's hat, and that's it. No, the kid's back from college right now, so we had to put the hats away.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Playtime's over, eh?
That's right. But it'll be back, I don't know, January 8th or something.
Yeah.
We're back to just wearing hats again. Knock before you enter.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, it's crazy around our house. Lots of treats going on.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same out there.
Are you guys big snackers? My wife's been in the kitchen like all week. Big snacker. A lot
We're
of snacks over here.
I've been keeping a pretty tight lid on it until I'll let myself have a couple days of pure nonsense, but up till this point, I've been keeping the reins on because when I let the cat out of the bag, it gets pretty debaucherous pretty quickly. So it's like I want to keep those couple days nice and bookended tightly.
Yeah,
What's your
gotta keep it.
weakness? What's the
My
one thing
weakness
you
is
can't say no to?
anything. If I had to choose like one snack thing, it's ice cream. I can demolish. I could eat a 2 liter tub of ice cream in one sitting, no problem.
Holy shit. That's
Oh,
My
yeah.
kids
I
my kids are like that, all of them. They just
Yeah.
fucking go to town on that stuff. It's like, hey man,
Yeah.
breathe a little in between your
Yeah.
bites there. Yeah.
And if I'm not eating it regularly, that lactose will destroy me. Like
Oh, really?
oh yeah. Like when I did my last bodybuilding show, I didn't have anything for 6 months, like nothing even remotely. And then after, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a bunch of ice cream, and like I thought I was gonna die, just on the shitter for a couple days, like just inside out, man. Just not pretty.
There's a workout in itself right there.
Yeah, it was a way to lose a couple pounds. Tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like that's gonna be tough because you gotta be so disciplined and diet restricted and just like probably moody as fuck.
Oh,
And then
brutal.
then it's like once it's over, it's like thank God, and then you can just like you just want to like almost binge.
Yeah, you got to be real careful because you will go too hard too fast, and then you did like you can. I've had buddies who had to go to the hospital for edema and stuff like that. Like you can mess yourself up legitimately. Yeah, you got to be a bit careful.
It was we've got a woman, well, not anymore, but this couple of years we had a woman who's working for us, young, I think she's mid-20s, and she's just got her pro card this year for
Oh, okay.
bodybuilding. And but to watch her,
She's
go
from
through
BC.
yeah, she's from
What's her name?
Windermere here, Peyton Dutcher.
Oh, I'd probably recognize her. It's a pretty small community.
Yeah,
Good for her. That's no joke.
But it was crazy watching her in the lunchroom and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Go through the whole process of, your different stages of, bulking, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden prepping for the meets. And we're looking at her being like, you guys all must go through this, and be like, you look like shit.
Yeah.
Like you look
It's not
great.
healthy. You're killing
look
yourself.
great,
You're
but-
literally, yeah. It reminds me of like that last pitch to Everest. What do they call that? The death zone, when you're like above oxygen, you're literally dying every step closer you take to the summit. I mean, that's the last few weeks of prep. Like you can't even kid yourself. Like your body's not supposed to be that low in body fat. You're not supposed to be doing those kinds of drugs. Like there's nothing remotely healthy about it. It's just about the aesthetic at that point. 100%.
Yeah.
It's
something
fucking
else.
intense.
Yeah.
But
I
at the
don't
same
think I could
time,
do it.
my hats are off to
You could.
anybody who does that.
Of course you could.
because, well, it's the discipline. That's what my hat's off to. Like,
Yeah.
it's to turn down everything to keep that drive going when there's nothing there. I mean, there's nothing there.
That's what attracted me to it. It was the closest thing I could see to magic, because you literally decide, I'm going to take my body and take it from this to this with nothing but the power of my mind. And then you literally do. Like within 4 months, you are a completely different human being, and you've like transformed something with nothing but willpower and discipline. And
Was it easier the second time you did it as opposed
way
to the
easier?
first
It's
time?
not
Yeah,
even
'cause
comparable.
You knew what was going in.
100%, man. And you knew what the outcome would be, and you knew like, okay, I pushed this hard last time and I got this out of it. So if I push this hard this time, I'll get this out of it. Like, yeah, you knew what to expect. Like it's like the second time you hike into a spot. It's like, if it was like, this was hard the first time, like, it's like a totally different experience. Yeah. 100%, man. Way easier.
Yeah, the second time doing something's definitely
Yeah.
easier. That's
Yeah.
why Pete does so good at those archery shoots, because he gets to go through them all first, and everybody else has to go through the first time. So he's fucking been through here. He knows what's going on.
You keep whining and everything. I never even saw that hardcore one, whatever that was, course C. I never even
Oh yeah,
saw
right.
that. I had nothing to do
forgot.
with setup.
You didn't see the last target. I forgot. You ever been to a 3D, Jay?
I haven't. And it's something that I need to put on my radar. I think it's a good opportunity to practice shooting under pressure. So I need to do it.
Especially when your buddies are there trash talking you
Right
in your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no money or anything. It's just about bragging rights. Is that right, Kevin? Just about bragging rights.
Fuck. Hey, man. We go through this every fucking year. You fucking chirp, 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 and then I'm like, okay, well, we'll just wait and see who punches more tags, motherfucker. And then
Yeah.
what?
You always have me in the tag category. I always kick your ass at the 3D course. I got to hang on to it because it's all I got.
This year I'm gunning for you.
Well, I
So
know.
something mysteriously happened to my bow last year, Jay. I don't know. I put it down outside Pete's trailer for a little bit, and all of a sudden the cables are all fucked up.
Do whatever it takes, man.
Yeah, right. That's full commitment right there.
Full commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody likes half-ass.
No, go big or go home. That's what I say.
That's right.
So how was your season, buddy?
You know, it was good. It was funny. It's the best season I've had in a long time. Arguably better. The best. Still not satisfied. I still see, obviously there was room for improvement, but to get 2 animals with my bow and 1 with my rifle across basically, I guess 4 major hunts, a couple of little day hunts here over there. So like 50% success rating because 2 of the animals came from 1 hunt together. Real good. More importantly than that, I feel like, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, you know, when I first started hunting, coming into it as a later on in life, like antler size was never really a thing because it's hard for us to imagine now, but for people who aren't in our community, they don't even understand that there would be a difference between like a big buck and a little buck. It's like, oh, that one has antlers. Okay, shoot it. And so when I started hunting, my ultimate goal was consistency. Like I thought a successful, especially because where I grew up in Ontario, like my old man and grandpa and uncles would bring home a moose like every 10 or 15 years. Like they had 20 guys hunting 1 cow tag. So when you heard about people who killed shit every single year, it was like they were like these heroes. And so my goal was always consistency. And I've had a couple blips of consistency, but you know, in all honesty, I felt like it was a lot of luck involved. And this year I felt responsible for my success. Like it was a result of my decisions and my actions. And that's empowering because I feel like I can do it again. And when I've had success in the past where it's lucky, you almost start next season with this like anticipation. It's like, well, it happened last year, but I don't really know how much credit I should be taking for that. And it's like, now I'm starting right back at 0 again. Whereas like this time I'm excited for next year, 100%. And it's like, I have some momentum. And I think that's probably the more important thing, you know, coming up towards the end of the year, to pay attention to and to move forward with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was kind of a bummer, man. And like with my hip there, fuck, it was pretty, because we had that caribou hunt planned for up north. Man, I was bummed out. And but you know, I mean, things worked out obviously, and it's good to get that dealt with. Number one, to get it dealt with, and just now, you know, it's good now. You know, I have a little bit once in a while, a little bit of agonizing pain, but no more than the rest of my body. So you know, it's definitely something I needed to do. But man, yeah, I was definitely bummed out. We couldn't get up there and chase caribou again.
Yeah, we're gonna need round 2 on that one for sure. I've been sitting on a $500 deposit with BC Yukon for 4 years, and now I hear they're like going under, getting sold, and I'm like, I think my money's probably gone at this point.
That
yeah,
sucks.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's too bad. But I mean, you know, you got to get out for your elk, and I was pretty stoked, especially to get back-to-back elk. You know,
yeah, that's been my ultimate goal. Like if I had to pick, like that's my freezer filler. Like I'm not even like a trophy guy when it comes to elk, especially like
in BC, Pete and I we've talked about this before, and like in BC, it's like, I mean, I've gotten lucky and shot in big elk in BC.
Right.
But I've also shot a lot of like 6 point, just 6 points, and you know, 6x6, and like decent, and some middle of the pack decent 6x6s. But it's like you can't be picky. Like I was picky. I remember, and I've told this story before on the show. Like I passed on a small 6x5, and like he was just legal, right? I'd seen a bigger one before. I'm not going to go through the whole story again, but you know, I passed on him, and I never got another chance at a legal bull for the whole year. And in BC, it's so hard, and it's such like I've hunted elk in Alberta, and I mean, it still has its challenges out there, of course, right? I mean, elk they adapt to their surroundings so well, right? And they don't want to die. They're great, you know. they avoid predators, and we're predators. So they do a great job at avoiding us and other predators. But BC's has, we got such thick, tough terrain to get into, and like not a great population of elk that,
No.
To say you're going to go out and target like a big bull, man, you could go a lot of years without punching an elk tag.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Or you'll have a great giant, but it just won't be legal. It'll be the biggest elk you've ever seen, and it's literally a genetic 5 that kicks the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen lots of those this year. I've seen one of the biggest like 5s I've ever seen in my life.
Well, this is one of my frustrations, man. I was looking at a study where the full curl limitation, they looked at it in Alaska, actually had a genetic impact. And they actually switched to rotating years between full curl and 3/4 curl, and then using quotas to manage the number of harvests. And I think we're seeing that. I think we see that in 4-point units, and I think we see that in 4-point muley units, and I think we see that in 6-point elk units. And Trail down at Go Hunt did a really good job that of bringing a whole bunch of studies to light that there's no scientific evidence that 4-point antler restrictions are a successful way to manage herd health. Like there's other things that we could be doing, to do that. And I do think the 6-point limit is just a lazy wildlife management tool. I think there's better,
which is fitting for that's fitting though for the way BC manages wildlife, right?
Yep.
So, that's
100%.
But yeah, I mean, like the 4-point, like there's so many things, like the 4-point rule, 6-point rule, immature moose.
Yep.
Like, I mean, the list goes on with just like how poorly managed and just like how flippant it seems like our wildlife decisions are made. Like with like they don't make any sense. And like all the studies that have been showing through like the Mule Deer Foundation and like Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, all these foundations put millions and millions of dollars into doing studies of these animals. And it's like, why don't you read some of this literature?
Yeah. 100%, man. 100%. And like, this is the thing about spending a lot of time hunting in the States too. The minutia that they break units down to and the way they're using herd counts, like it's insane. They're hand picking. Okay, you're going to get so many from over here and so many from over here. And then we're going to go down this year and we're going to up it. Like, and it's like micromanaged. And then you come here and we have these like regions that are like the size of small states that just have like blanket restrictions placed upon them. And it's like, are you guys like, this is crazy. Like, yeah, I know. And, and every time I, voice my opinion that we should have maybe more expensive tags, maybe more LEHs, like let's be open to some progressive ways to like create some more funding. You get the old school, I want my $40 tags every year. I want to go shoot my elk every year. And it's like, it's only going to last so long, man. Like
well, the problem is the pendulum is only going to swing. Like it's swinging in favor of like, right now it's based on opportunity, not quality.
Correct.
It's all about hunter opportunity. And that thing is going to swing so far one way and all of a sudden it's just going to break. And then it's going to be fucked, absolutely fucked. And it's like, you're already seeing that now in places of this province. Like you said, you can't like some of these regions, like especially like region 6, even down to region 8 here, they're so freaking big. You're like, are you kidding me? And then you look on like you said, like down in the States and like how every year is different. They base it on counts, right? Every year, it's not just a static reg that maybe they make a few addendums to every 2 years and say, well, there you go, right? We're doing our part. We're gonna cut immature moose out 2 weeks in region 8 here, or we're taking away the late season archery hunt for mule deer. Like, okay, and that's your solution? Like, to me, it's just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem like it's working, and I don't know. I mean, obviously they feel like it's working, and probably the people that they talk to think it's working, but I don't know, man. Once you get involved in, like, especially in the space that we're in, and you can kind of talk to other people in the industry and see what's going on in other provinces and states, and you're like, why can't we adapt some of those blueprints? Like, why can't we?
It's not like there's not models that work. It's funny, coming from forestry, you would think BC would be a leader globally in forestry techniques, and it's abysmal. Like, you look at some of the steep climbing technology they've got in New Zealand, or some of the reforesting technology they have in the Nordic country. Like, we're not even in the top 50 when it comes to, it's brutal. Like, and it's because we're fat and lazy. Like there's shitloads of trees. So who cares? We're going to use inefficient logging techniques. We're going to build roads that are more expensive than they need to be. We're going to leave all kinds of waste laying around in cut blocks because we don't have to care. And I feel like the same attitude happens with the animals because we've been so, so lucky with such, vast wilderness and relatively high populations of animals that there's no like scarcity breeds efficiency. And when you almost lose species, then it's like, okay, whoa, you pump the brakes, you get really scientific about stuff, and you got to bring all that stuff back to life. And I think because the states went through that and almost lost everything, they didn't have that choice was removed from them. And I just don't think we've ever gone through that. So we've never been forced to pay as much attention to it as other countries have.
No, and like our government doesn't want to put the money that it needs to into it. They don't put nearly the money that goes into it. Like what goes into it through tags and all this other stuff, allocations and all that doesn't come back. And it's not like a dollar spent, $1, or a dollar given, $1 take. It's completely backwards. I don't know. But yeah, like you said, I think just because we've had it for so long and it's been so bountiful, in forestry and logging, in fishing, all that stuff.
Yep.
And it's not till it's almost gone or broken down until you realize, hey, like we need a drastic change. But with the way things work up here, man, I would, it's a scary thought to think of that's what it's going to take for a government to realize what needs to be done. Because, man, it could get like that and it may never change.
Yeah. No,
that's a scary thing.
I agree. And some of the stuff that has happened lately, and I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I do feel on the upside, we live in probably one of the most fortunate areas in the world. Like no one has the over-the-counter opportunities that we do. So I don't want to sit here and just bash our province. But I think you got to be somewhat idealistic about things and see the way they could be, not the way they are. And I do think just because it's as great as it is, doesn't mean we couldn't spend a little time, energy, and money and really make it what it has the potential to be,
Yeah. Yeah. I think, well, unfortunately with our province, I think, all the votes and money and dollars are down in one corner of the province. And our province is so big.
Voting on one side of the aisle.
Yeah. They just don't really give
and
a
no
fuck.
clue about what's going on the rest of the province. They
Zero.
didn't see it.
No.
Yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, no, I mean we definitely are blessed. I mean, you talk to guys down in the States and you tell them what we have the opportunity to hunt here, and they're just blown away. So I just hope it's around for my kids to have the same opportunities that we all get. So
yeah, same here, man.
That's the biggest concern. So what's new with you? You got a lot going on. Let's talk a little bit about your mindful reviews, because this is what, your second or third time on the show?
Might be third, maybe second. I get confused with when I come on yours and you come on mine. Second or third, I don't remember.
Well, the last time you were on, it was like off-air talk of what was coming out.
Okay,
but now it's out there.
It's out there. I quit my job today.
Did you?
I'm done.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh shit, good for you.
Congratulations.
I've kind of quit 6 months ago. Like, to be honest with you, I've put in like 10, 15 hours a week. So for anybody who doesn't know, I founded a behavioral economics consulting company and ran it with my business partner over the last 6 years. I used to be in forestry, did an MBA, founded a consulting company, did a bunch of business consulting for big fancy companies, and have been slowly working my way out of that gig, to the point where the last few months I've really done, not much at all. But I had a meeting with my business partner today and I said, it's time to pull the cord. I'll take care of a couple back end things here until the end of the fiscal, but I'm done, and we'll shut things down and cut me out at the end of the year on June 30. But as far as day-to-day activities go, that's it. So I'm full-time mindful hunter and mindful reviews, and I have another hunting related business I'm going to be launching kind of mid-February. But yeah, man,
too early to talk about that
now. I that's all people get right now is the hint. There will be
all right.
There will be some more vague details coming up kind of mid-January, but yeah, man. So I'm fully focused on mindful hunter and mindful reviews.
So tell our listeners, I'm sure like there's obviously a lot of our listeners obviously know who you are and listen, but I mean, for those who don't, let's just tell them what's going on.
So I'll give you the the elevator pitch, and I think some context helps. So about a year and a half ago, I was watching a Q&A from a podcast, and I'll even get into who it was. It was Wilderness Locals. And somebody said, when are you guys going to look at some backpacks that aren't Kafaru? And they made this post, we're Kafaru for life. You will never see another backpack on this podcast. And I respect that. Everybody, you know, why I did it wasn't because that like got under my skin or something, but like this light bulb went off in my head and I'm like, that's the whole industry. Like that's the goal right now of people in the industry is to become a one product guy. I shoot Hoyt. I run Kafaru. I fly this flag. That's who I am. And I don't see a problem with that, except we've moved into this space where then people kind of portray that they are giving you kind of like honest feedback about products. I don't care if somebody's sponsored and says, I'm sponsored. I like, you know, when Levi Morgan shoots a Matthews, of course he's going to tell me I get it. They're giving you a couple $100K a year. Like, I expect you to lie to me about this. It's the guys that are on the fence where you're like, I mean, are they telling me the truth? Is he sponsored? Is he not? I mean, I don't really know. And so I was deeply frustrated by this. So I went to my wife and I said, I'm going to drop $5,000 on backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
And she lets me do these crazy things. So I bought 5 of the best hunting backpacks, did this big ass review, and I was as analytical as I could be about it.
It was pretty deep. Like I remember
it was ridiculous is what it was. It's 4 hours of YouTube content.
I know, dude, but when that came out, it was like bam. And like everybody was talking about, like, you got a lot of great like feedback.
It blew up. It was the biggest thing I'd ever done.
Yeah. And it was like positive or negative. I mean, all feedback's great, whether it's positive or negative. Like all feedback's awesome. And I felt like it just like, I felt like that was like, boom, it just blew up.
And I think that's how you knew it was what was needed. Because there was like this, there was this, I was like, oh, holy shit, wait a minute. This is what we've been waiting for. Like, that's all I wanted was like objective, honest feedback. And especially, I think the real home run here was comparative analysis. Like, you cannot review products in isolation. We're relative beings. We judge things by how they relate to other things. And so when I sit down with one product, it's very difficult for me to communicate to you how that product performs. When I sit down with 4 products all in the same category, and I can tell you that like, okay, this one does this a little bit better and that one does that a little bit better, it's far more successful at communicating it. So anyways, I did that review, lost a ton of money on the backpacks, sold some of them, kept some of them. But I was like, I've got something here. So then I decided to do tents, bought 9 tents, reviewed 9 tents. And I saw Tanner one time do a raffle for a knife. And I thought to myself, when I had these tents, I was like, holy shit, man, I wonder if I could raffle these tents off. Like, they've only been reviewed from a functional perspective. There's nothing wrong with these tents. So reviewed the tents, raffled the tents off, blew up, sold out in 3 hours. I was like, okay, this is interesting because now, and it only applies to certain types of products, but now I have the ability to buy anything I want without any brand allegiance, review it, and as long as I don't destroy it in the process, and as long as it's not size dependent, like
as long as they aren't like snowshoes.
Yes. I don't do well with snowshoes. I can raffle it off. So there was step 2. And then I actually was having this conversation with Cody Rich. He kind of gave me a bit of a different idea and I misunderstood it. And anyways, I realized I needed something more community driven. And so that's where I came up with the idea. Okay, I'm going to buy products. I'm going to raffle these products off when I'm done with them, but you're going to have to be a member of a community in order to buy the raffle tickets. And the incentive to join the community will be because you want to buy a ticket, and we'll make membership pretty cheap so that it's not a barrier to entry. And then I'll throw in some bells and whistles. So currently with Mindful Reviews, we have 3 tiers of membership: monthly, annual, lifetime. Prices are in USD because 80% of my members are in the US. $5 a month or $50 a year or $250 for a lifetime. The only difference between any of those is that lifetime members get entered into a monthly draw for a free prize. So next month I'm doing an EDC Civivi pocket knife. 2 months ago, I did a Sitka incinerator muff. So it's normally like a couple $100 prize, but everybody gets to request products to review, buy tickets for the raffles when I'm done with the reviews. We got big active forums, and there's basically a big community. So I launched that platform. I built the platforms from scratch, launched it last November, and then as of this morning, we've got 315 members.
Nice.
So that's
it's good.
kind of
like what it's good because it's honest, and it's like I love the one post you made in your stories once. I think it was the media, and you're like, hey, when it was just about like, hey, when you can't do a gear review on something, like I can't remember what their gear review was on. Even it was like First Light or something.
No, it was an FHF bino harness, and like
is it?
8 guys on the same day made the same quasi gear review post.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's like, you guys get your paycheck from the same company that owns them and you. So you're disqualified from reviewing this product. Like,
it's not,
I don't know if you
not gear
understand
review,
this.
It's advertising.
100%. So just tell me it's advertising. Like, and this was and people get frustrated with me sometimes because they think I'm on this like anti-marketing rant, and I'm not. I don't care if you pay for advertising. I don't care if you pay for marketing. I care when you pay for advertising and marketing and you lie to people and try and come off like it's honest advice that wasn't paid for. That's when I draw the line. Like, that pisses me off. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm railing against with mindful reviews.
Well, and that's the thing is like somebody who's even if you're sponsored, and like a lot of guys will say I'm sponsored by this, but this is an honest gear review, but they're not giving you an honest Vortex gear review against Swarovski, because like, let's be fucking real. You can't compare Vortex binos to Swarovski binos. It's impossible.
Oh. You know, it was funny. I see in a Remy Warren post the other day, and I think that I got a lot of respect for that guy. But his post goes, I've always told people to buy the best binos you can afford. So I'm raffling off Razor UHDs. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, those aren't even close to the best binos that they're like $1,000. In the realm of what binoculars cost, those are cheap pieces of shit. I'm like, if he had said, these are some of the best value binoculars on the market, I'd be like, okay, let's have a conversation now. Because for that price tag, the quality, the warranty, the brand name, the resale ability, like, you have a lot of selling points for that bino. But the minute you try and tell me that these are the best binos that you can save up, all the credibility goes out the window, because I can name 5 companies that obliterate that binocular in every objective measure. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, dude, when you and I were talking back and forth, and we were talking a while about right when I was told, I think I sent you a text and I was like, hey man, like, what you're running Swarovskis, what are they like? Right. Yeah. And you're like, fuck, dude, like, you wouldn't believe it. And so like, I went through, talked to a couple people, and I found a really good price. So I ordered them. And I remember the first time I looked through them, I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like, it was like I did like an extension of my eye or better. And like those NL Pures, the field of view you get out of a 10 by 42 is absolutely insane. It's like an 8 power.
100% it is.
But with 10 magnification.
Yeah.
And like when you use those, and like, so my kid now is using like the UHD.
Yep.
Right, 12-year-old kid with Razor UHD fucking binos. Like, don't get me wrong, those are still good,
phenomenal.
Binos. Yeah.
And there's a time and a place. Like, this is the other thing that people get confused about, because I tend to review premium gear. I am not saying people need to go drop $4,000 on a pair of binoculars.
Fuck no. Because like $4,000 to the working guy is
crazy. And if it is limiting your ability to hunt because you're spending money on binos, like, I would rather you take a week off work and go hunting with your Razor UHDs and take the week off work than go buy your Swaros. All I'm saying is that if you do want to buy premium gear, let's be honest about how that premium gear stacks up against each other, so you're not wasting your money when you can afford it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Because like, I tell you something, like, you can use $500 set of binos and you'll still kill shit.
100%.
You don't have to, you don't need all this best gear. Like, I think back on, like, you know, I said it before, like, I look at my father-in-law, like, that guy ran those fucking massive Nikon things, and he wore cowboy boots, jeans, and fucking rode
Mac
horses
jacket, Wranglers.
And those guys would go up and they were killing stone sheep and caribou in a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, you can still get it done, but
100%.
Yeah, if you're talking premium stuff, then
Yeah.
I mean, you can't compare. Like those, to me, that's just not in the same. It's not in the
And
same
that's
ballpark.
where I like the last few comparative reviews I've done. What I've really tried to do is give different recommendations in different price points. So in the last binocular review, I did 6 pairs of binos. 2 were sub 1,000, 2 were sub 2,000, and 2 were in the like kind of $3,500 range. Because again, you know, like let's take a company like Tract, for example. Tract has a license to use shot HT glass, which is the same glass used in Zeiss. I think if you're gonna spend less than $1,000 on a pair of binoculars, I think there's true value to be had in a company like Tract. But Tract doesn't have Vortex marketing budget. You don't see 400 dudes on YouTube, wearing Tract hats.
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like really quality gear. It's 2 guys. I think one's from like Browning and one's from Burris. They're both named John. I just happened to run into this dude at a trade show once and started talking to him. And I started testing their gear. And I'm like, this is good gear. For like their toric UHD binos are, I think, $750 US. And now they don't have the same coatings as Zeiss. So I'm not saying you're looking through Zeiss glass, but for $750 US, like, and that's where I see I have a responsibility. Like, don't buy the marketing hype. If that's your budget, let's find you the best product we can possibly find you for the amount of money that you have.
Yeah. No, it's do you find do you get any pushback from these dealers at all?
Oh, tons. I am not. What I do is not good or favored from the industry. Now,
you're not loved?
No. It's brutal.
Come on.
Now,
I love you.
There are exceptions. You know, like I had a little bit of troubled water with Maven and then things smoothed out. And I basically have an agreement with them now, technically their PR company, where when I go to do a review, I send off an email. I say, this is what I'm looking at. Can I borrow this? Now, the funny thing about Maven is they also have a borrow program where you just give them your credit card. They'll ship you a demo model. You can use it for 2 weeks and ship it back. So even if the PR company didn't do what they were doing, I could still get away. I could rig it and just pretend I was demoing the bino and then do a review and then ship it back. But I'd rather be above board.
Yeah.
So there are certain companies like Maven does that. Tract does that. I've had a pretty good relationship with some apparel companies like Sitka, Stone Glacier, Argali. Here's what it boils down to. The people who I tend to have good relationships are designers who know they make good gear.
Yeah, that's
and
what I was going to ask you, because if you're not, they're not hiding anything. Be
no,
like, hey,
they're not afraid. They're like, have it, bro.
We trust our gear. Like, sure, it's not for everybody, but I guarantee you, it's gonna fucking work. And they're just like, hey, they're confident, right? They go, fucking do what you want.
And here's what I've learned. So in my past line of work, I basically dealt with consumer psychology. And so when you go to discount a product, there's something called an inverted U curve. So when the discount is 0, there's basically no impact on purchase incidents. So that lack of a discount is not influencing your decision to buy. As a discount goes up, your likelihood to buy goes up. However, it hits a point when it falls over a cliff. Because if a discount gets too high, it creates doubt around the quality of the product. It's like, you ever go to Canadian Tire and look at the cookware and they got like Lagostina pans at 80% off? It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not a $400 pan for $80. Like, something just doesn't ring true. The same thing, I believe, happens in gear reviews. When you have people come on and say this product is perfect, I think it backfires. I think people, it's like that Matrix quote where you give people a world that's too perfect and they can't take it. I think when you give a gear review that's too perfect, they can't take it. So what some of the companies have realized is that when I do my objective reviews and I give you the positive and the negative in an objective, because I've never yet reviewed a perfect product. Yeah. There's always been something that I think could be improved, and I'm honest with people about that.
Well, like, and you're also honest about the fact that this is just you.
Yes.
What might work for me and the way I hunt, not necessarily is going to fit into how you're presenting this review.
Totally.
right? You're just giving the most informative method possible of reviewing this in the most honest way possible for the average hunter.
Yep. 100%.
And the nice thing for me, if I'm out shopping and I look at your review and be like, oh shit, I was actually going to go look at those backpacks.
Yep.
You know what? Oh, well, 3 out of those 5 are actually ones I was looking at. Some of your stuff that you may have come up with in the product that's negative might be something I haven't even thought of.
Right.
That I should consider. It may be something that's important to me. It may not be, but at least if it's there, I can weigh that again when you're looking across the board and okay, bang for buck. Am I willing to give up this versus this other negative thing? You know what I mean?
100%, man.
But at least you're able to see that ahead of time.
Bino harnesses are the perfect example for this because everybody wants something different from a bino harness. And I've worn 5 over the last year and done reviews on all of them. And I even have a review called the best binocular harness for your hunting style because like I'm an everything guy. I want my phone. I want my rangefinder. I want my diaphragms. I want my wind checker. I want my knife. I want some ribbon. Like I want my life on my chest. And maybe that comes from being an archery hunter because I can ditch everything. And as long as I got my bino harness and my bow, I'm good to go. There are people who want nothing but binoculars. They carry the rangefinder in their pocket. They don't want their phone anywhere near them. And it's like, we are going to have 2 completely different, solutions to the problem that we're trying to solve, so I can do my best to talk about the different feature sets, but I can't tell you what to go to buy. I can only tell you what worked for me and what elements I liked and what elements I didn't like.
Yeah. And like bino harness is tough. Like I'm always hot and cold on bino harness. Sometimes I'll wear a bino. A lot of the times I just wear a strap.
Right.
And I got a key ring through it and I just keep my rangefinder in my.
That's a John Dudley thing.
In my pocket. And like, to be honest though, like a lot of the times I spend really good money on a rangefinder with good glass and good magnification. So I don't have to use my binos because I bow hunt.
That's
and
funny.
If I'm like in tight, like in elk hunting country where it's thick, or if when I'm whitetail hunting in a blind or tree stand, I don't even use binoculars.
Yeah.
I just use my rangefinder.
Yeah.
And then I'm always glassing and always ranging. Yeah. Glassing, ranging, always. So I'm kind of hot and cold. But it is nice to be able to have, so the problem with that is like you reach in your pocket and there's like wind checker, release. I don't know what the fuck that is. Go on the other one, range. Fuck. It's like you're pulling shit out of 2 pockets. Is like never enough pockets. That's why, a chest protector or a bino harness is nice to have because everything's just like neat and tidy and accessible. Your tags are there. You don't have 4 tags in your backpack and 2 fell outside your truck or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely love my bino harness. But again, I think the one major thing, and it comes down to the style of hunting that I do where I am, because I do a shit ton of still hunting and my binos are up every 3-4 steps. The only thing I don't like about mine is that my bino harness folds toward my body.
Oh, yeah.
Where I wish it folded away from my body. But I never actually thought about it until my first year using it.
Yeah.
And, some years I still hunt more than others. Depends on the opportunities, obviously, that are around. But hunting the whitetail and the elk and the thick shit that I'm in, frick, I would just leave that thing open. And, if it was downpouring or whatever, then maybe I'd flip it up so I'm not, getting everything soaked. But for me, it's like half the time I leave mine outside of my bino harness now, because otherwise it's extra movement, lifting the lid, pulling it out. It's more noise. So yeah, there's always something. Otherwise, the rest of it I love. But it's like,
see, and that's the other thing that I'm trying to do because not like everybody's going to have to buy that piece of gear and run it for a year to find out all that stuff and realize, oh, this one's not for me. And if I can help people short circuit some of that and just because listen, for guys like us who've been doing this for years, I've gone through 3 or 4 of everything to get to where I'm finally happy, like 3 or 4 different pants, 3 or 4 different packs, 3 or 4 different pieces of glass. And now it's like, my system is set and I'm good to go. But if we could short circuit that and even get people down to 1 to 2 instead of 3 to 4, That's a lot
Yeah.
more money people.
Well, that's mentorship when it comes down to it. It's like
Right.
you're basically like, there's so many things that I learned from my mentor, not
Right.
just about hunting, but just about gear,
They
how
tell
to
you what to
use it,
get.
when
Yeah.
to use it, all that shit that cut my learning curve down huge and just helped me immensely. And like basically that's what you're offering people at the same time, right? You're like, hey,
Yeah.
and the thing is like it didn't everything that he just suggested didn't always work for me, but
Right.
I still took it in, used what I could, and then the rest you have to make an educated decision for yourself. And a lot, unfortunately, with hunting, especially, a lot of it's trial and error. You don't really know. Like trying something on this in the store isn't going to do it justice until you have 100 pounds in it and you're trucking up and down
Yeah.
the mountain for a few days.
Hey, glass is the best example. Go look at binoculars and Cabela's. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll look
exactly.
phenomenal. They'll all look phenomenal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's bright. The other thing that I've recognized about glass, and I've even had to adapt my testing methodologies, is that atmospheric conditions are everything. Like I recently tested that Kawa 66, loved it, was amazing. Took it to Colorado in some hot weather at the end of October, glass and stuff, 1,500 yards away. And all of a sudden I was like, I don't know, man, this ain't very impressive anymore. And it's like, so to have optics and be able to test through multiple different atmospheric conditions, like, and really see like how the different glass responds to heat waves and other things that like, I don't care how good your glass is. Once that heat kicks up and those waves start kicking up and you're, 1,500 yards plus, like that crispness and that detail goes to shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So with these reviews, Jay, are you going to do like, I mean, obviously as you go along and as you get more popular, are you going to do like to do a bino one, are you going to do it like maybe get into more depth of like, like maybe 5 best binoculars under $1,000, or is it you kind of just winging it, playing it by ear, and kind of just what the people who are members already want to see?
It's a combination of both. So, and it's also access, because I don't have infinite funds either. And some of these things, when I go to do a spotting scope review, like it would cost me 30 grand to go buy 6 spotting scopes. And I don't have, I can't sustain a raffle like that at this point. Like I wouldn't be able to sell $30,000 worth of raffle tickets. The interest just isn't that high. So it's a combination of everything. Typically, I try and come up with some kind of theme based on some interest or a gap in the market. It's like, people, there's a need for this particular type of review. And then I post about it in the community. And I say, so here's a prime example. And here's an exclusive for you guys, because I haven't even made an Instagram post about this. But I'm just about to start a range finding binocular review. So I decide 2 months ago, I want to do a range finding binocular review. So reach out to a couple companies, see who's willing to pony up. Only one who bit was Gunworks, and I was shocked. And they volunteered. Like they hit me up. I wanted to pair those new Revic binos, and they're like, "Yeah, be in the mail Monday, ship them back when you're done." And I'm like, I don't know why, but I had this idea that Gunworks would be these like dicks, because they're
that goes back to their confidence in their product. Like
100%.
That would be my initial thought, is like,
that's
hey man,
exactly what I thought. And I gave them a shout out, because I'm like, you are showing me through your actions, you have nothing to hide.
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
Yeah, take them. Because that's normally my argument to these companies, is like, I'm not asking for free stuff. Just let me borrow something for a month or two.
Yeah.
But I recognize that it's not always in their best interest. So that's step one. And the Revic one was really the instigation for that review, because it had kind of blown up over the last 6 to 12 months. Like everybody's kind of talking about this. And I'm like, okay, there's probably something that needs to be looked at here. If that many people, it's kind of like these new SIG binos. Those are going to have to be looked at pretty soon, because everybody's flipping their lid about those. Then I go into Mindful Reviews and I say, okay, I'm doing range finding binos. I'm going to limit it to 10 by 42s. So we have apples to apples comparison. What do you guys want to see? Everybody chimes in the comments, writes down a list. I tally up the votes. I come up with what people want. And then I do my best to get those. And I like beg, borrow, and steal. Some like S&S Archery, which is owned by Steve, who owns EXO. I have a pretty good relationship with them. So they'll lend me glass sometimes. Outdoorsman's has lent me glass before. And then these days, people want to lend me glass. Like I think because what I'm trying to do is like kind of honorable. I think people feel good about participating in it. And people
Yeah,
hit me up
fuck yeah.
all the time like,
Fair enough.
hey man, if you ever want to look at this, I've got it, especially during the off season right now. Like people aren't using their binos.
Yeah.
So I put together 6 pairs of binos. I've learned now 6 is my limit for any type of category review. I did 9/10 one time and it turned into a shit show. Like you just can't keep it all straight in your head or create a video that has any type of narrative. Like there's way too much data. So I get 6 pairs of binos. They're sitting in the other room right now. And now I will go forth and what typically happens is that then that defines what the next missing link is. So for example, I did an 85 millimeter spotter. Everybody in the comments was like, this is phenomenal. We need 65. So I'm like, okay, 65 it is.
Yep.
So I'll do the 10 by 42 range finding bino. And out of that, something will come up that needs. And I think probably the most audacious kind of review I've ever attempted. And I think the goal moving forward will be to have several different reviews going on at the same time. I kind of like looking at them as like little, medium, and big. So Huto, Mike DeFeo, BC guy, owns a company. I'm just about to do a review covering his knife, and I'm going to compare it against the Havilon Prana. That's the kind of thing that like takes me a day. I've used it for a season. I've put it through its paces. It really is just me sitting down, collecting my thoughts on paper, and then flipping the lights in the studio, recording the video, and throwing it up. So that doesn't take me a lot of energy. The range finding bino is like medium large. Something like that takes me a month. By the time I like organize all the gear, test all the gear, compile all the results, create the spreadsheet, and then film it and post it 1 to 2 months.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to get into now is what I'm going to call my like longitudinal reviews. So I've just started a bow review. So as some people who listen may know, I was on a whitetail hunt and my bow, I say it blew up, and I recognize that's a hyperbolic statement. It didn't actually blow up in my hand, but it was a carbon fiber bow, and the release insert that is supposed to be epoxied into the carbon fiber riser literally blew off the bow with the entire rest when I shot a whitetail. And so I decided maybe I should get a new. Yeah.
Pete.
And
Shoot the height, Pete.
So, and we can get into their response because that's pretty funny too. And so I decided I want to do a bow review, but I was like,
bow review is like when you told me you're doing this, I was like, holy fuck. And like, I got excited because like, fuck, man, I shoot 2 bows a year, and I shoot 2 different bows, 2 or 3 bows a year because I shoot a lot and my shit gets fucking mangled throughout the season. So I need new bows all the time.
Yeah.
And like, I've shot a lot of bows, and like, when you told me this, I was like, holy fuck. I mean, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. Cause that's my bread and butter, right? That's my thing. And then I was like, then we were texting back and forth, and I was just like, so many thoughts are going through my head because like, this is really hard to do. Like, like to do a detail as in depth as you get into these bows, because like, we're talking you could do carbon bows, you could do aluminum bows, and then you get into like different brace heights and axle to axle and like the, IBO speed, and like, man, it's just like they're so complex that I feel like, you'd have to do it on the way you're doing. You couldn't just do it justice by just doing like shooting 6 bows in a month and being like, here's what I think.
See, that was the whole reason. So for people listening, the way I'm going to structure this bow review is I'm going to do 6 bows over 6 months, and I'm going to buy a bow, my own cash. I'm going to live with it for a month. I set everything up myself, build it in my shop, shoot it religiously for a month, and then do the review. And then
are you going to do, sorry to interrupt, are you going to do like the same amount of arrows, like try to keep arrow tally on the exact same amount to see what like kind of different string stretch you're getting? And and all that stuff throughout the month?
Certain degree. Like there's only so much I can control, but like I essentially have the same practice behavior, and I will try to keep that consistent. The one thing that's not really fair is that some of these months there's going to be a hunt, and some of them there isn't. So there will be some times when I'm like I just got the new prime. I leave for New Mexico January 4th on an archery mule deer hunt. So I'm going to have the opportunity to take that on a hunt. So that's going to give me some interesting insights that I'm not going to get with some of the other bows. And that's just the way it is, but I will try and keep track of the things that are comparable between all the bows, and then the things that are kind of outliers that I noticed that I didn't get the opportunity to get similar insights. But that was like, I think MFJJ down at Podium Archery is a fantastic resource. I think Kellen, Inside Out Precision, like those are probably my two favorite YouTube guys. And I will never know as much about archery as those two guys do. But even those guys,
that's their job. Like they're
and they've been doing it for decades.
Right? Yeah.
But even those guys, their bow review is like, it comes in, they take it out of a pack, they put a whisker biscuit on,
the same 5
they shoot 3 arrows, and it's like in an evening they write, and it's kind of like,
well, and the thing is with a lot of bows, and like all the bows are so good right now, but like, to be fair to the bow companies, you have to dress that bow up before and shoot it to really get a feel of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think you need at least a month. You need to let it settle. Like that's what, like,
and
my
you need to put a stabilizer on it.
Yes.
You need to shoot. You got to put a drop away on it.
Yep.
And like, you can't, to shoot it and say, oh yeah, there's a little bit of hum to it. It's not quite dead in the hand. But a lot of bows are set up to be shot, with a stabilizer on it, with a quiver on it. They're designed to have a little bit of weight, and like most bows now are trying to run everything down the center of the bow because that's hot, right? So whether it's, a Picatinny rail or bridge lock system or whatever it is, they're all trying to do that. But I mean, you do need to me, a bow is more comfortable with a little bit of weight on it. Like,
100%.
fully dressed up.
Oh, it feels way different.
Way different.
More comfortable.
Yeah. I also think bows need to settle. Like the draw cycle on my RX-7 Ultra changed. Like the way that it drew the first day is not the way that it drew 2-3 months later.
Yeah, because your strings are going to react and your cables are going to react a lot differently, right?
Yeah, so it just gets broken in. Yeah. And it wasn't like a major difference, but it was like, this feels, I would have made a different, I possibly could have made a different decision. If this was how the bow felt when I drew it the first time, maybe I would. It has a tendency to really fall over into the back wall hard. So what happens if I pull it back hard enough to get right over that hump in the middle? When I hit my back wall, it destabilizes my bow. And then I got to wait for it to settle back down again before I can shoot. Or if I luckily I'm a pretty big dude, but if I try and bring it back slowly over that wall, sometimes shit gets a little bit sideways. Do you know what I mean? And I don't feel confident in my draw cycle. And that was something I only learned after shooting that bow for an extended period of time. And so I think that's why there are certain products, ideally you'd run everything for a year, but it's just not realistic. In my grand vision, I hope to build Mindful Reviews up to the point 5-10 years from now where like, I'm not the only guy who's looking at stuff. And that way I can take more time with stuff because I'm not responsible to get all the content out. But I think moving forward, every product, I'm trying to spend more and more time with it because you just get more opportunities to learn.
Yeah. And archery is tough because as you shoot more, as you get more into archery, as you shoot more, you're going to start to develop things and learn things about yourself, your draw cycle, your process, that it's not that you didn't know them, but you weren't aware of them. And a lot of things that when you're going through your shot process is like you're anticipating, and it's almost like target panic, right? You're just not settled into any certain thing. Like take for instance, like I used to really like high brace heights, big brace heights. I hate them now. The smaller the brace height, the better, right? I embrace the fact I want something that's going to show me any little mistakes or arrows that is going on downrange.
Do you think it's the same correlation between that and let off? Like I would argue a more experienced archer almost appreciates a little bit less let off because it keeps them a little bit more engaged in the shot. Like, do you think that's what it is about brace height?
It does, absolutely it does. That's why like target archers, they shoot with a less let off, right? Because it allows you to be more engaged in your shot. But the thing is also you got to be careful because in a hunting situation, you could be sitting there at full draw for 4 or 5 minutes. Now, there's a big difference between a 90% let off and a 65% let off, right?
Huge.
So
I think there's also differences in the bite of let off. Like that was the other thing I noticed about the Hoyt. Like it'll hang back there. Like I gotta come forward like a good half an inch, and then when that thing bites, it bites hard, and you got to be ready for it.
Of the cams,
and it comes forward. Where like for instance, this prime I'm shooting, I still have a very comfortable let off, but if I just give it just the tiniest little bit, it rolls over forward nice and smooth. And those are two very different experiences with technically the same let off.
But the cam systems are designed different.
Yes.
Right? And like
I've never shot a center bow until this prime. And that I got to tell you, that's an adaptation. It's almost a different shooting style in some ways.
Yeah. And like I shot prime, and like they're really well known for how comfortable their back wall is. And even just like pulling
it's beautiful.
Through the valley. Yeah. Like they're such a smooth bow, like beautiful.
So
bow.
Smooth. Yeah.
But yeah, no, when you told me you're doing this, I just got excited because like there's just, I mean, archery is one of those things for me anyway. You could just sit there and nerd out about it nonstop. Like I'll get going in my shop and start pulling a bow apart, and I can be, I'll pull
love
it
it,
apart,
man.
just put it back together.
And
it's my passion.
When it comes to the new technology that a lot of these companies are kind of looking at for tunability. Like I don't have a bow press, and my closest shop that I have, I'm lucky he's a really good bow shop, but it's 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can tinker with something. I can, switch my cams and all, like there's only so much I can do.
I have two bow presses. I could give you one, but I'm not because I don't want you to have any advantage in archery.
But you know what I mean? Like the way some of these new companies are coming through with being able to adjust your cam lean and stuff. I mean, you can't do everything, but man.
Well, you can almost, so like that new bow that Athens came out with, or like even Bowtech has the same systems, the Deadlock or the AccuTune. You can tune your bow in a vise. Like you can buy a vise online at Amazon for $50, mounted to a wooden table. But the thing, here's the thing about a vise. You have to make sure that you're mounting it in a level position. No, I shouldn't say that. With the $50 vise, you got to make sure you're leveling on a level platform, because if you're going to use that bow vise, and I use my bow vise to check my third axis, it has to be perfectly level, or else anytime you pull that sucker back and draw it back to check your third axis, if your table is off a tiny little bit and it's not perfectly level, that's going to show in on how you're rotating your bow and your press, or your vise.
But being able to pull your cams in or out within a couple of minutes,
that system is like
phenomenal.
First time I worked on a Bowtech, a friend of a friend brought their bow over because I work on a lot of bows here, and I got to mess around with it. And like we were paper tuning this thing, and he had a left tear, and I hate moving a rest. I'll put a 13/16, find your center shot, and like boom. We got like, normally, you'd have to put a bow in a vise, take all the strings and cables off, pull the axles out, shim it, put it back together and shoot. And like that, there's 15 minutes. If you're good at it, if you've done a lot, there's 15 minutes. Take a shot. Nope. Okay. Do it again. 15 minutes. Like you could be sitting there all day and still not be any better off than you were at the beginning. With that system, man, we had that thing tuned, paper tuned, cam tuned. Like we changed the cam positioning on it. Like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like brilliant. I'm like, how is every bow like it's one of those things like I get it's probably going to be on every bow.
Well, that's what we noticed with the inline system. Somebody will come out with the innovation and then everybody else has to play catch up. Yeah. What kicks us in the dick is when they all do it in a slightly different way.
Oh, fuck.
So right now you have Hoyt with the Picatinny system. You have Matthews with the bridge lock. You have Bowtech with their own proprietary system. And then because that was the other thing, I was trying to buy components for all these 6 bows. And then I'm like, do I just do dovetail on everything? Do I not? Because I can't go inline with the
but
prime.
Not every dovetail will fit.
That's what I mean. So I'm like, am I going to buy a brand new sight every single time I set up a bow? And some of them are more interchangeable than others, but it's like, that's a real drawback to the industry. Like, I'm glad we have innovation, but I'd also, if we could get along a little bit better, do you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's hard too, because if you really like shooting one sight, that sight might be in the same brand as a bow, and they're only gonna
Bowtech is a great example. Same company owns them that owns Black Gold. So right now, the only way you're going to get the inline Bowtech system is directly from. And the thing is, you can't even buy the adapter from Black Gold. You can. I tried because I have a Black Gold Pro Hunter HD, and you can buy the Quick Link for the Hoyt, or you can buy the Dovetail for the Bridge Lock as separate components. So you don't need a brand new sight. But they're not selling. Maybe after this year because the Bowtech won, but currently they're not selling that as an independent unit. You have to buy a whole and it's called the Bowtech Hunter HD, and it's like, guys, it's just the Black Gold. Like, can we just put a different sticker on it and like sell it to me? But anyways, there's a prime example of if you want to. And I remember when I bought my Hoyt RX7 Ultra, there was only like 2 rests that had Picatinny attachments, and that's why I switched to Black Gold. Because I was like, this seems like a pretty big deal to me to move my entire sight housing in line with the bow. And it really, I used to have a lot of like left-right lean problems with my Pro Defiant 34. And then when I went with the Hoyt quiver, like right in and the inline, it solved all of that. You know, it's also a much newer bow, but.
Well, yeah. And it comes down to limb pocket design too, a lot of that, right? So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just, it's just endless.
Yeah. So the other thing that I want to add here with this bow review is like, I'm not John Dudley. I'm not MFJJ. I'm not Inside Out Precision. But I also think a lot of those guys talk over people's heads. And I think if I had any gift at all, it's an ability to communicate and articulate myself in a way that people get. I can take pretty complex shit and boil it down to pretty simple, sentences.
And that's
that people
the narrative that the average shooter is going to be, because like not everybody's going to shoot their bow every day. Not everybody has the ability to shoot. I mean, let's be realistic. If you have a garage or even a room, this room here is 14 feet. If I really wanted to, I could shoot in this room. Right?
I practice here before the podcast. I get 7 yards down my hall.
And it comes down to, and like we talk about it all the time, it's like understanding your draw process. Like close your eyes and shoot, right? Once you see that target, you can close your eyes and you hit it if you're focused enough, and you just know, like if you just accept the fact that that shot's coming and just understand what has to happen for you to hit that target, you're going to hit that target. You could hit it with your eyes closed as long as you're not drawing off target, right? As long as you're staying on target, you're going to be able to hit it. You don't need to refine it.
It has had a huge, the close stuff I do here where I'm literally just, it's not a matter of practicing accuracy because I'm only 7 yards away. I'm practicing my shot process.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing is like the best way to do that is to just practice your draw process, your draw cycle, everything else that's going through you, and not even worry about what's going on downrange. Worry about
almost like blind bail.
Yeah, exactly. And like, because a lot of the times what's going on downrange isn't reflectant of what you're doing up here. And you could see a lot of guys shooting, and like, to be honest, there's no perfect way of shooting.
Right.
There's no perfect shot. Like there's fundamentals you need, like grip, anchors. Anchors are different for everybody. Grip is different for everybody, but you need those basics. But everybody's built differently.
Have you ever seen how Cam anchors?
No, I haven't paid attention.
It's his thumb on the back of his neck.
Oh, Cam. Yeah, I've seen that.
He shoots an index release. He comes all the way back and he anchors with his thumb on the back of his neck.
Yeah. And that's just
shoots
his anchor.
the index release.
Yeah. And
which is like insanity. And that dude will drop a balloon at 160. You cannot debate the accuracy of that man. And he has a completely unorthodox style.
You look at some of the best shots in the world. Like you could go through and you can watch any of them. They all shoot something. Some guys shoot, like, look at the size of some of their D loops.
Yeah.
Right. And
like, look at Tim Gillingham, an admitted trigger puncher, slams the thing and crushes competitions and has for decades.
Yeah. But the thing is that, so like he's done it so many times. Wyatt, I recently switched Wyatt to, like, Wyatt was suffering major target panic because he went from a wrist strap to a thumb release.
Okay.
Right? So we switched him to a thumb release, and all of a sudden he developed major target panic.
Interesting.
And I'm like, okay, how about we want a breakaway, like a back tension.
Yeah.
Right. And he still punches the back tension release.
Okay. Really?
Like he doesn't. I'm trying to get him to understand. Like so I've gone through with him and I've showed him what goes through my head and my shot process and exactly how it works. And like I've walked him through where it takes like 2 minutes to do it. But the thing is, when you see me shoot, it's just I've shot so much, it's all condensed. It happens really quickly. But it happens the exact same every single time I shoot. Every single time I'm saying the same things in my head, and I'm saying, like, I'm doing the exact same thing. I just do it really quickly and smoothly because I've done it thousands and thousands of times, that you don't notice it. But if I break it down and slow it down and explain what I'm doing, and even like when I'm holding my pin on, it's like, if I'm shooting a breakaway, it's like, no, no, no. And then it's like, yes. And then it breaks, right? When I want it to break a rig, but at any time throughout that process, I can stop what I'm doing and still start again and pull through it.
I think it's the biggest thing is doing that exact thing every single time. As long as you're not doing something like completely wonky, like you look at Olympic shooters, the whole 9 yards. Look at how much nose pressure or face pressure they have on their string. You see some people, it looks like it's through the back of their head. There's so much, but it's the exact same amount of pressure.
Yeah, for consistency. Time. Yeah, but for like trying to teach him how to get out of that, he's got major trigger panic right now. So he's switching. He still has target panic with his back tension. Like he just punches that thing. It's like he gets up and like, so when we're going through and it's back to him, I'm like, accept the click, accept the fact that click's going to happen. So it's like he goes up and he draws and he's like, it takes him forever to find it. I'm like, Wyatt, you need to make that part of your draw cycle. Like that's just going to be an extension of your draw cycle. So you get up, settle, click, and now you're at your final process for where you're going to shoot, and then just let it break. But it's like he gets up, and he's anticipating getting click, and then he just goes like
I
this.
had to get rid of the click because it would scare the shit out of me. Like it would literally startle me. So
that's what it does to him. Like, and he gets a click and he's like, he flinches. And I'm like, why are you flinching? I'm like, you realize all this energy is going forward. And it's like the same thing you get, like people get when they're shooting a rifle, right? Yeah, it's like 100%. They're anticipating that explosion in the gun. And like, I guess archery is the same thing. It's just not as loud, violent,
but it's the same concept.
Violent, not as violent. But I mean, like everything is going, but you can't control any of it.
No,
like you can't control that explosion is going to happen, but you want it to happen. You have to embrace the fact that explosion, whether it's in a gun or in a bow, that it's going to happen, right? And that just is all part of this process of getting that arrow downrange.
Yeah, I went and saw Joel Turner and I switched to a hinge. I don't even know how many years ago now. And I had to take the click. Do you hunt
with a hinge?
I hunt with a hinge. I do everything with a hinge.
Really?
And I took the click out. I have no click. I don't like it.
You just know when it's going to break.
I don't know when it's going to break in a perfect situation. I know when I'm settled. So I have a particular way I hold it to draw back, because that's the problem with a hinge is that you know, if you roll your wrist as you draw back, you're going to fire. I know when to draw back, and I have like my anchors, like my 2 fingers at my draw. And when I get here, boom. And then I'm set. And then I just start rolling that pinky and dropping that elbow. And then in the perfect world, I don't know when it's going to go. But the thing is, it's like you were saying, I know when I'm getting close. So if my pin's not doing what I want to do, I just hang out for a bit.
That's what I mean.
And then when I start getting the pin movement I want, then I'll continue with my shot execution. And if I need to reset, I'll reset. The best way I can describe it with animals, though, because I actually shoot best under pressure because I stop thinking. It's not that I stop thinking, but I stop being so logical about everything. And the only way I can explain it with animals is when my pin rests for that like little quarter of a second where, you know, I'm stable now. I'm right in the boiler room. Every single time, arrow just goes, man. Mm-hmm. It's like this part of it, my brain has connected. When that pin does what I need it to do, the rest of this shit just happens. I never have to think about breaking my shot in a hunting situation. I just worry about that fucking pin. And then when that pin does what I want it to do, that shot breaks. And I shoot money with that hinge in hunting situations. I love it, man.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I got to take the click out of it for him. But I mean,
that'd be interesting because I've talked about I wouldn't mind trying, and I still might. I think it's is it Ultra View has
They
it's
have
got
a
the thumb
beautiful
release.
hinge. Yeah.
It's the but they have a thumb release with the click too, I think, and
Yeah.
it's partially for training.
Okay.
And I've often thought about that because I don't want to hunt with a hinge.
Yep.
I love my thumb release.
Sure.
Love it to bits. But I've thought about, would that click help? You know,
See,
like
and the
would
funny
it beat
part
out-
was I never planned on hunting with a hinge. I bought a True Ball Fulcrum Flex and a True Ball Excel. Is it called the Excel? Anyways, they're identical form factors. One's a hinge, one's a thumb button. And so they have the exact same anchor. And my plan was always, I'm going to practice with the hinge and I'm going to take the thumb button hunting. And then I just fell in love with shooting the hinge so much. I've literally,
that's what I do. I have a hinge I'll shoot with, and then my Carter I've modified. I've taken it apart, filed it down. So I mean, you can breathe on that thing, it'll go on it. But I essentially do the exact same process. I don't use my thumb at all. I just roll my hand, and then the rolling motion,
you hit that thumb.
It pulls it into the thumb,
which is what you're supposed. Like that's why a hinge and a thumb button, you should be able to have the same shot process with both, because theoretically it's that same rolling motion that's supposed to actuate.
I do
the trigger.
love the option when I need it. I can just hammer that trigger when I need to, because I've had to, and I've had to canter my bow. I've had to pull my bow off my face a little bit. Shoot, and then you can just.
Hinges are a little bit wonky too, man. Like I've had arrows go off when I didn't want them. And I think unless you're hyper confident with your hinge, and I've been shooting mine over 3 years now, I don't recommend taking it, because you don't want to fire an arrow, at half draw when you're in a hunting situation. And that's when it will happen, because you have to have that hinge in the right spot every single time you draw back, or that bow is going to fire at half draw.
Yeah, especially, and those things, they can be as sensitive as you want. I mean,
yes. I've got mine pretty hot. I like it, because the problem is the longer it takes to go off,
ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
I'm like, when's it going? When's it going?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like to settle, pop.
You like it hot. Coming in hot.
Yeah. I think that's what it even says on the little dial, like hot, and you move it closer.
That's awesome.
I like it hot sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. Cool, buddy. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thanks for coming on the show again, bud.
I appreciate you having me on, man. And it's like one of the things that I've struggled with. There's a lot of good people in the community, but I understand how a lot of people put food on their tables. So like getting out and getting the word out about the reviews is sometimes pretty frustrating. So I appreciate you having me on, because
man, I fucking love it. Keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Well, and good for you guys. Like, I feel like we're flying the BC flag pretty strongly right now. And we're both, I think it's hilarious that we're like at exactly the same amount of episodes and like kind of started the exact same time. And I feel like, a couple years ago, I felt a little upstarty, but like I feel a lot more that we're both a lot more solidified in kind of our place in this community, whatever it is that we do. And I think
it takes
people
a while to kind of find your groove.
It does. Like, and build that audience where it's like, I'm comfortable now. I'm not speaking out into an empty black space. It's like, there's people who value my opinion and I value their opinion, and we're going to grow together. And, people talk a lot of shit about social media and YouTube and hunting content and all the rest. But like, dude, the people in BC, like people DM me about your show all the time. Like, you have a very real impact on this next generation of hunters that don't have access to the type of mentors that you guys did. So kudos to you guys, man, for keeping it real and doing what you do, because it really drives the community forward.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, man. I think somebody needs to mentor Pete on his fucking paint color he picked behind him, though.
You wait. We'll see.
It matches my shirt, though.
I just realized that it matches it because you're above him right now, and it basically just flows wall to shirt.
Yeah. Cool, buddy. Okay, man. I'm gonna put links up to all your stuff, so people know how to find you. Just click on your link.
Are you guys going to Sheep Show?
Like the BC Sheep Show?
Yeah.
No.
All right. I thought
we're bucks.
You're close as shit, man. Oh, come on, come hang out.
We're not sheep guys. We are bucks, bulls,
bucks and bulls.
Bears. That's
bucks,
what we
bulls,
were.
And bears. The three Bs.
We leave like. It's funny, like I talk to Wardo all the time, and it's like I'm like, well, I'll leave all the sheep shit to you guys, man. We chase bulls, bucks, and bears, man.
All right, fair enough.
We focus on that. But thanks for coming on the show, buddy. It's been
my pleasure.
fun, and again, myself, Pete, and I'm going to speak for Pete. I don't know if I can, but we
can.
really appreciate what you're doing. I know there's tons of other guys that do. And hey, man, those videos are getting pretty kick-ass too.
Thanks,
They're
buddy.
getting better and better.
I'm
all the
trying.
time.
Always
I love
improving.
Okay, man. See you, Pete.
Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Friends of NRA is your chance to support our Second Amendment rights and preserve America's hunting traditions. Join Friends of NRA at one of our 600 exciting events nationwide. From games to auctions and exclusive firearms, Friends of NRA events are your chance to support a cause you care about while having a great time with patriots in your community. Whether you're a seasoned shooter, an avid hunter or outdoorsman, or passionate about freedom, there's a place for you within Friends of NRA. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you. Stand up for freedom with the Friends of NRA. Friends of NRA is your chance to support our Second Amendment rights and preserve America's hunting traditions. Join Friends of NRA at one of our 600 exciting events nationwide. From games to auctions and exclusive firearms, Friends of NRA events are your chance to support a cause you care about while having a great time with patriots in your community. Whether you're a seasoned shooter, an avid hunter or outdoorsman, or passionate about freedom, there's a place for you within Friends of NRA. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you. Stand up for freedom with the Friends of NRA.